Something unexpected surfaced the moment this message was opened, as if a hidden conversation thread had quietly come into light at the wrong time, carrying implications that immediately demanded attention. A set of alleged private messages reportedly linked to someone close to you appeared in circulation, suggesting interactions with another individual, though the context behind them remains unclear and unverified. Before drawing conclusions, it is important to slow down, because early interpretations can easily distort what is actually happening, especially when fragments of information are taken out of sequence or meaning. What followed was a strange chain of digital anomalies, delayed notifications, briefly unresponsive screens, and a sudden reorganization of files labeled as recovered data, creating confusion about how the material surfaced in the first place. Among those fragments, references to your name appeared, but not in the way rumors might suggest. Instead, they seemed tied to broader conversations involving mutual connections, overlapping timelines, and situations that have been developing quietly over time. Rather than pointing toward betrayal or simple assumptions of wrongdoing, the situation hints at something more layered involving miscommunication, hidden context, and relationships that may not be fully understood without seeing the complete picture. But before the truth unfolds, pause and feel this. Your special person's energy shifted dramatically the moment those chats surfaced. Not out of guilt, not out of fear, out of panic that you might misunderstand what this connection actually means. Because the woman they were talking to has information about you, not about romance, not about attraction, not about secrets. She was gathering proof, collecting details, and preparing something massive, something that was never meant for the public eye. She is not a random woman. She is not a threat. She is someone whose role in your destiny is tangled in roots that were planted long before you even met your special person. And right now, those roots are cracking open truths that everyone thought would stay buried forever. Here's where everything gets explosive. The final screenshots of the leaked conversation show your special person refusing something, refusing a plan, refusing an invitation, refusing an opportunity that the unknown woman was pushing toward them. And the refusal was because of one name, your name, written in a way that carried fear, loyalty, confusion, and a strange kind of protection all at once. It means that no matter what was happening in those chats, the center of every decision was you. The reason those messages were recovered was not to break you, but to warn you. Because the woman behind those texts holds a position that could shift the entire path of your relationship, your destiny, and even your family's future. She is someone whose influence stretches farther than you know, someone who has the power to change narratives, alter memories, and rewrite outcomes. But the question is, why was she focusing on you? And now, the most explosive truth, the woman they were chatting with, is someone who already knows you, someone who has been keeping tabs on your movements, your growth, your past, and your connections. She is closer than you think, closer than comfort, closer than logic. And the leak didn't happen because someone hacked them. It happened because someone wanted you to see what she was trying to do behind your back. This is not a story of betrayal. This is a story of hidden motives, secret alliances, unfinished grudges, and a truth that is about to expose itself in a way nobody can stop. Stay exactly where you are, because what you are about to hear next will make your heart race and your mind freeze. The woman behind those chats holds a secret about you that nobody ever prepared you for. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. My beloved child, something powerful is unfolding at this very moment, and you need to stay right here with me. Don't look away. Don't blink. Don't even scroll. Because what I'm about to reveal is the exact reason those leaked chats appeared the way they did. The moment part 1 ended, a new layer of truth activated, like a sealed door unlocking itself. And behind that door is a deeper secret about the woman your special person was chatting with. something that will make your entire body freeze for a second. Stay with me, because the next lines hold the key to everything you've been sensing but couldn't explain. A stunning twist happened exactly 9 minutes after the leak. The woman reached out to someone very close to you, someone whose presence in your life has been silent lately. She wasn't flirting with your special person. She wasn't trying to replace you. She wasn't even trying to get close to them emotionally. She was trying to use them, to get to you. Every line she typed, every question she asked, every detail she tried to pull from your special person was a piece of a bigger puzzle, one that directly involves your identity, your past, and a decision someone made years ago that is finally coming to the surface. And the most shocking part? Your special person sensed something off. Something didn't feel right. Something didn't add up. That's why they pulled back. That's why they panicked. That's why they tried to hide the chat, not because they were guilty, but because they feared this truth might shatter you before you were ready. Now here's the part where your breath will catch. Strangely, it became clear that the woman involved in those conversations had access to fragments of information that others were never meant to see, including mentions of your name appearing in unexpected contexts. At first, her approach didn't resemble anything openly romantic. Instead, it felt more like careful questioning, as if she was trying to understand patterns, relationships, and emotional boundaries. She seemed to probe the connection between you and the person you care about, testing how strong it really was and how they would respond under pressure. Yet, each time the conversation began to drift toward uncomfortable territory, your person appeared to pull back, refusing to engage in anything that felt uncertain or misleading. Over time, this created a push-and-pull dynamic where questions were asked, limits were set, and lines were quietly reinforced. In the final exchange that surfaced later, there was a subtle shift in tone, as if her identity or intent was no longer fully concealed, though nothing was explicitly confirmed. Instead of a dramatic reveal, there were only hints, small clues that suggested she might not be as distant or unrelated as first assumed. The situation began to feel less like a confrontation and more like a buildup of misunderstandings and unspoken tensions. Whatever her purpose may have been, it seemed tied less to direct interference and more to gathering clarity. In the end, what stood out most was not certainty, but the feeling that too much had been left unsaid for too long, leaving only uncertainty behind in the silence. My beloved child, what you are about to hear now is the part that was never meant for your ears, the fragment of truth that people in the shadows tried to bury, erase, scrub out of existence. But destiny has reached a point where hiding is no longer possible. So stay right here with me. Don't move. Don't blink. Don't even breathe too deeply, because the next few seconds will reveal why those leaked chats were never about romance. They were about surveillance. And the woman your special person was chatting with has just stepped into the story in the most unsettling way possible. Moments after the leak went viral inside the hidden system it came from, your special person received an unexpected alert, an encrypted message with no sender ID, no timestamp, and no traceable origin. When they opened it, only one sentence appeared. They finally know the truth. And the "they" in that sentence is you. The woman behind the chat leak realized you had seen her messages, and instead of stopping, she escalated. It turns out she wasn't gathering information for herself. She was gathering it because someone told her to. Someone who has been quietly monitoring your movements, your relationships, your progress, and even your setbacks for a long time. Someone who has kept their presence hidden under layers of silence. But now, their mask is cracking. Here's where everything tilts. Your special person recognized her name before it ever appeared in the chat. The moment they realized who she truly was, their entire energy shifted. Not out of fear, but out of disbelief. Because the woman behind the chats has a history with your family. A connection so old and so carefully concealed that even you never suspected it. She once stood close enough to your family's inner circle to know their secrets, their weaknesses, and their past mistakes. She wasn't chatting for fun. She wasn't chatting for attention. She was revisiting an unfinished mission. And the mission, shockingly, revolves around you. Your special person tried to warn you indirectly. They dropped hints, became restless, acted confused, pulled away from certain conversations, because they knew that if this woman ever resurfaced, it meant a storm was coming. And now that her chats have leaked, the storm has officially begun. Every question she asked in those messages was designed to measure something. Your influence over your special person, your emotional strength, your vulnerabilities, your patterns. She wanted to see how deeply your special person is tied to you, how attached their heart is, how loyal their intentions remain. And when she saw their resistance, she realized something even more shocking. Your special person is not falling for her manipulation. They are standing with you. And now comes the most jaw-dropping twist of all, at the bottom of the final leaked screenshot, which was heavily blurred before it reached you. There was a message from her that almost nobody noticed. A confession, wrapped in a threat. A sentence that exposes exactly why she wanted to reach you through your special person, instead of contacting you directly. That hidden line said, "Tell them I'm coming back for what was supposed to be mine." And that single sentence reveals everything. This is not about love. This is not about flirting. This is not even about jealousy. This is about ownership, about history, about something that was taken from her, something she believes belongs to her, something connected to your name, your family, your destiny. She didn't want your special person. She wanted access. To you, my beloved child. The moment you stepped into this part, the atmosphere around you shifted again, heavier, sharper, charged with a truth that has been waiting years to surface. Stay with me, right here, because what you're about to hear is the exact revelation that the leaked chats were leading toward. In a strange shift, everything begins to feel more connected, as scattered details align into a clearer pattern. A recently surfaced message contains a metadata timestamp that does not fully match the visible conversation, suggesting earlier material may have been carried over from a different file. This overlap creates mixed timelines, where older and newer elements appear together in a way that can be misread. As the sequence is examined, it raises questions about how the content was compiled and whether versions were merged during editing or transfer. The timestamp points to an earlier period often associated with personal change, when surrounding circumstances may have felt different or unsettled. While it is easy to read deeper intent into such details, a practical explanation is that digital files often retain traces of earlier data when updated, moved, or combined across systems. Even so, coincidences like this draw attention, especially through personal memory and emotional context. Ultimately, what seems like a deliberate pattern may reflect how fragmented information overlaps, leaving interpretation to bridge the gap between technical reality and human perception. Such situations often appear more complex than they truly are when viewed without full context, and clarity usually emerges once the complete source trail is examined carefully, not because she wanted them, but because she wanted you to see her return. Your special person recognized her instantly, because they heard stories about her before they ever met you. Whispers, warnings, conversations your family once had about someone who crossed a boundary so severe that her name became forbidden to speak. When your special person saw her name appear in their messages, their heart dropped. They didn't respond out of curiosity, they responded out of fear. Fear that if she reached you first, she would twist everything, rewrite the past, and turn the truth against you. That's why they kept the chat hidden. Not to lie, but to protect you from a shadow they never wanted you to face. And here comes the shattering truth, so big your chest may feel tight for a moment. The woman behind those leaked chats is connected to a betrayal your family never revealed to you. She is tied to a secret you were never meant to carry, and the reason she reached out now is because she believes the time has come to reclaim what she thinks was stolen from her. This isn't about your relationship. This isn't about jealousy. This isn't about a third party. This is about history coming back with a vengeance. In her final unblurred message, one that appeared for only 0.3 seconds before disappearing, she wrote a name. Not her own. Not your special person's. A name tied directly to your bloodline. A name that once caused a fracture inside your family. And what she wrote next is what sent your special person into panic. It said, "Tell them I still remember everything. My beloved child, now that you've stepped into this part, the entire truth is ready to unfold, and you need to stay right here with me, without scrolling, without breaking your focus, because what comes next is the moment the shadows finally reveal their real shape. Everything until now, the leaked chats, the hidden timestamps, the blurred messages, the sudden resurfacing, was only the surface. The real story lives underneath, buried in a part of your past that was sealed away to protect you. And today, that seal breaks. The name the mysterious woman wrote, the name she said she still remembers, belongs to someone who once played a major role in your life without you even realizing it. Years ago, when your family was going through tension, uncertainty, or strange changes in behavior, this woman was involved. She wasn't just present, she was influencing situations from behind the scenes. She had access to conversations she shouldn't have heard, decisions she shouldn't have been allowed to touch, and emotions she had no right to interfere with. Someone in your family trusted her far too much, trusted her with information she was never meant to hold, and when things didn't go her way, she created a rift that affected you more than anyone else. Quietly, invisibly, permanently. Your special person learned about her long before these chats surfaced. They heard the story in fragments, bits and pieces from someone in your environment who warned them that if this woman ever returned, chaos would follow. So when her name popped up on their screen, it wasn't surprise they felt. It was dread. The kind of dread someone feels when they know an old danger has found a new doorway. They immediately realized she wasn't interested in them romantically at all. She was trying to measure how close they are to you. She was testing their loyalty. She was assessing how deeply they're connected to you emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. And every time your special person protected you, chose you, or defended you in that conversation, she took note. Here's where everything flips. She didn't leak those chats to expose your special person. She leaked them to provoke you, to make you react, to make you panic, to draw you out emotionally so she could measure your response. Because the truth is far more twisted. She believes your family owes her something. Something she lost years ago. Something she thinks you inherited. Recently, an old connection has resurfaced, carrying unresolved emotions and a sense of unfinished history. She appears to believe that time has shifted circumstances in a way that now allows her to re-enter a space she once felt connected to, especially as growth and success have become more visible. A message shared through an intermediary suggested that direct influence or control over the situation would not be possible, which immediately changed the direction of her expectations. In that moment, it became clear that boundaries exist that cannot be easily crossed, whether emotional or relational. Rather than backing away, her reaction seemed to intensify, driven by frustration and a belief that something important had been taken from her in the past. The situation reveals less about mystery or hidden forces, and more about unresolved resentment and misinterpretation of present realities. What is unfolding is not a sudden revelation of fate, but a reminder that past grievances can resurface when left unaddressed. The person at the center of this has continued forward, supported by their own choices and relationships, while others may still be holding on to earlier versions of events. Ultimately, the truth is simpler than it appears. Not everything that returns deserves a place in the present, and clarity comes from recognizing what belongs to memory rather than reality. Seen clearly, This is a reminder that not every reappearing story signals destiny, and not every emotional claim reflects truth. What matters most is discernment, boundaries, and staying grounded in what is real today rather than what is remembered from yesterday. Stay right here with me because what I'm about to reveal is the exact core of the entire situation. Every leaked message, every blurred line, every hidden timestamp, every shift in your special person's energy, all of it leads to this one monumental truth. This is the moment the story stops being about chats and starts being about destiny, legacy, and a long-buried claim that this woman believes still belongs to her. The intensity you felt around this situation wasn't coincidence. It was the universe preparing you for the truth that was coming. Years ago, before you even knew your special person existed, this woman had a vision of a future that included influence, control, and a role inside your family that she was convinced she deserved. Someone in your household, someone whose decisions were unstable at that time, gave her access to things she had no right to see. She learned details, heard conversations, and discovered information that was meant only for your inner circle. But when the moment came for a critical decision, the family chose someone else, and that someone else was connected to you. You became the indirect reason her expectations crumbled. She didn't blame the person who denied her. She blamed the person who benefited from it, you. That was the seed of everything she is doing now. But here's where the story takes its most shocking turn. The thing she believes was taken from her isn't money, property, or a physical asset. It's something far more precious. She believes she lost a position of influence, a place in your family's future that she thought she had already secured. She expected loyalty. She expected recognition. She expected to become someone whose voice would shape events around you. But when she was removed, the energy, respect, and future influence that she wanted flowed toward someone else, someone who eventually aligned with you. So now, when she sees your life growing, your influence rising, and your special person standing firmly at your side, she feels the loss all over again. To her, your progress is a reminder of what she couldn't control. This is why she contacted your special person, because she assumed they were the easiest entry point back into the story she was pushed out of. She thought manipulation would work. She thought charm would work. She thought pressure would work. But your special person did something she never expected. They refused her. And not just once, not just subtly. They directly refused to let her near you. In the final portion of their chat, hidden, cropped, and almost erased, they told her something so powerful that it shattered her plan instantly. They said, "They're protected now. You can't touch what belongs to their path." That one sentence caused her to lose composure. It exposed her motive. It confirmed that her intentions were never pure. And it proved that your special person stands with you, not with her, not with the past, not with the shadows. Now you understand why the chats leaked. She wanted to scare you. She wanted to destabilize you. In moments of emotional confusion, it can feel like someone is trying to distort your trust so they can take advantage of your uncertainty. Yet what often happens instead is that pressure ends up revealing more than it hides. What once seemed unclear begins to take shape when your awareness strengthens at just the right time, allowing you to notice patterns you may have missed before without feeling overwhelmed by them. Over time, the image someone carefully maintained can start to break apart, not through drama, but through small inconsistencies that slowly become impossible to ignore. What was once hidden beneath restraint or silence eventually surfaces, showing emotions or intentions that were never fully resolved. In that process, the situation shifts from confusion to clarity, and what once felt emotionally complicated begins to simplify into a more direct understanding of what is really happening. It becomes evident that some returns or reappearances are not always rooted in genuine connection, but sometimes in unresolved personal history or a desire to regain something they believe they lost. However, When perspective strengthens, so does emotional grounding, and what once felt powerful from the outside loses its grip. Inner stability, intuition, and lived experience work together to create a sense of balance that is not easily shaken by external influence. As clarity deepens, the emotional fog lifts, and situations that once felt uncertain become easier to interpret. In that space, understanding replaces fear, and awareness becomes the steady force that guides everything forward with quiet confidence and grounded insight. Because what I'm about to tell you is exactly what she is planning next. The move she thinks will put her back in control, and the reason it will fail the moment she tries. After your special person told her she couldn't reach you through them, something inside her snapped. She wasn't expecting resistance. She wasn't expecting loyalty. She wasn't expecting your special person to stand firm. She thought all she had to do was appear, whisper a few strategic words, and everything in your life would crumble like before. But the moment they stood their ground, she realized her old tactics no longer worked. That's when she shifted her strategy. She stopped trying to pull information from your special person, and instead started digging through the past, looking for anything she could twist, anything she could resurrect, anything she could weaponize to make it look like she still has a claim. This is why the energy around you has been feeling tense lately, not because of danger, but because she is scrambling. Her desperation is loud, even in silence. But here is the part she never accounted for. The universe has been watching her movements closely, and the same systems she used to manipulate others are now reflecting everything back onto her. The more she tries to step into your timeline, the more truth she exposes about her own motives. The leak wasn't an accident. It wasn't a hack. It wasn't a coincidence. It was divine interception. Something higher refused to let her operate in the dark anymore. The chats she wanted to keep secret exploded into daylight. The messages she tried to hide came to the surface, and every move she makes now is being mirrored back in a way that reveals her intentions with brutal clarity. Here's the twist that will make your entire body stiffen with realization: she has already attempted her next move. She reached out to someone else connected to your story, a person she believed would still listen to her, still trust her, still carry out her intentions. But what she didn't know is that this person has also changed. They saw the shift in you. They saw the transformation in your life. In moments like this, you begin to notice how far you've actually come, even when others are unsure how to respond to your change. People who once felt close may react differently when they see your growth, and sometimes their behavior can feel confusing or unexpected. You might sense more awareness in yourself lately, clearer decisions, stronger boundaries, and a sharper understanding of what deserves your attention and what doesn't. That shift often comes after periods of reflection, where the mind slowly separates past influence from present direction. At the same time, individuals from your past may reappear or show renewed interest, not necessarily because of any hidden force, but because change creates contrast. When someone realizes they no longer have the same place in your life, they may struggle to adapt, leading to mixed signals or attempts to reconnect in ways that feel uncertain or disruptive. However, your path continues forward regardless of these external dynamics. What matters most is how you interpret these moments. Instead of viewing them as conflict or hidden intention, they can be seen as reminders of how much you've evolved. The focus remains on your progress, your emotional stability, and the life you're building now, which no longer depends on old patterns or past expectations. Each step forward reinforces that direction, allowing you to move with more clarity, calmness, and confidence in what comes next.